great-great-grandfather to my grandchild is 8 generations. And we have several thousand names in this book. Again, I'm not bragging, but I don't think you could find another book in the Bahamas whereas the history was traced of these people back to Africa. That is in the form of a book. You may find that some family have a couple, some names here in a computer, and some have some names there in another computer, but then nobody sat down and compiled a complete book. Yes, sir?
Which part of Africa and which tribe was it?
I didn't go that far. I know what part of Africa. He came out of West Africa, Ghana, and but I didn't go into the
Gold Coast. Was it the Gold Coast?
I didn't go into all of that. I just wanted to. I mean, it would take a lot of resources and time to do that. So my goal was just to establish the fact that he came out of Africa, and then he ended up in Mangrove Andros, in a slave village that was named by a slave master by the name of John Pinder. And I have a document from the archive department to prove that John Pinder was a registered slave master in the Bahamas during that period of time. So there is a slave village in the back of Pinder's that I am yet to locate. It may be 3-4 miles in the back there, but then we don't have any road leading that far back. But at some point in time, I can get back there, and we can go in the back there and locate that slave village and preserve it, you know, for the future generations. Yeah, so this is a good one, and I did some research in this. But again, it was not very difficult for me to write because I'm a senior person myself, 77 years, and I know a lot about. I live with my grandfather. I used to see my grandfather and grandmother every day in Andros. It's not like living here in Nassau where you don't see your grandparents for months and months and months. Every day, we and my grandfather yard, and he tell us what his grandfather and his forefathers and everything, and all of that. I had all that information in me when I started to put this book together. Yes, ma'am.
Well, please, let's hear it from Mr. Smith. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith does have his books with him tonight, so if you'd like to get a copy of these ghost stories, 10-10, the Bible 10, I remember that phrase. These are $15, and he's prepared to do a book signing tonight. Of course, he brought this other book as well, which he's written. So I admire anyone who has gotten this far to publish a book. It takes a lot of work and, of course, a lot of research. So thank you very much, Mr. Smith. You have all these stories in your heart, and we thank you for sharing them like that. When I picked the book, I was like, all these ghosts? All these ghost stories around here. And so the ghost these ghosts don't hide you. You just see them. Okay.
It's like I tell the tourists on Bay Street when they say, "Oh, I want to sleep at night."
Oh, so I say, look, I wrote the book and I sleep like a baby every night.
You know, it's like I said, man. Look, it's there. It's here. Whatever I have a little mantra that I put in these books. Whatever the mind of man can conceive.
Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe. Now don't leave out the believe part. You gotta conceive something. Once you conceive an idea and you believe that, that will surely come to pass. Nothing to stop that.
Nothing.
So Mr. Smith, I'll ask you once more. You truly, truly, truly saw ghosts in your life?
Yep.
Many ghosts?
Many.
Okay.
I have about 6.
And they never bothered you?
No.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen any. I don't want to see any. And I don't want them to bother me.
No, but the thing is, like I say, is at the time when you see a ghost, you would never think about
it's a
a
ghost.
ghost. No.
Okay.
It's only after the fact, and you now with other people and so forth and so on. say, why didn't I just eat Mr. So-and-so or something? Yes, ma'am.
My ghost wasn't a person or a bird or whatever. It was the shape, this happened in the 70s here, and it was the shape of a Christmas tree. It was dark and it was faceless, but when I reached over to waken my husband, and when it saw me do this, it turned sideways, walked. I was in a tiny room off a kitchen, and in order to get through the entranceway, it had to dip, and go out.
Yeah.
But there was no fear.
Oh.
But I don't know what that was all about.
No.
And then the following morning, I was so embarrassed to ask my mother-in-law, or tell my mother-in-law, and she said other people had had that experience in that room.
With the Christmas tree?
Well, I just say it was narrow at the top.
Oh, okay.
It was about 7 feet tall, and it was like narrow and straight shaped like that. No feet, no arms, no opening, no anything. But it was kind of a nice feeling.
One of the things,
It was interesting.
One of my goals in writing this book is I want to get Bahamian people talking more about ghosts. And the reason why people are afraid to talk, that takes a lot of courage to write this book, you know.
It's because
You know the abuse I get from people is because they don't believe in ghosts and so forth and so forth. So we need to start talking these things, man, and making people aware. Look, what were you scared of ghosts for? You're supposed to be scared of a man, not a ghost. Ghosts ain't doing nothing. And in fact, ghosts help you along when it's needed. My dad, after he came up the contract back home, he had a bad habit of smoking cigarettes, like every Bahamian who went off on a contract.